That's it?
My dad would teach me these things, but I wasn't ever really listening. Like, you know, when someone, as a parent, as a kid, when someone's telling you something, you're listening because you have to.
Yeah. It's like you want to go and do your thing, innit?
See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
He tells me all these things, like I've heard all of this before. It's just I didn't ever really time to pay attention. And then like, months ago, 4 months ago, I was baptized. So I got to church now. I read the Bible, I only read the starting, so that's why all of these things like I know, but I don't know. I obviously know the basic stories, but I don't know all the verses. So I'm at Genesis 1.
This is the real baptism. What's happening right now, your mind is being baptized. Because John the Baptist, he baptized physically in River Jordan.
That one.
Right. Oh yeah, you did that one. Yeah. I grew up in church, but I didn't get baptized like that. Now this is that receiving this knowledge into your mind, that's the real baptism. When you're receiving the Lord, when he's knocking on your door and you open up and he comes into your mind and he feeds you this knowledge. That's the real baptism. That's the real resurrection. Right? So, were you getting something?
Yeah, about the baptism.
Yeah. I've said this girl and speaking that something.
Say.
So I don't upset this girl.
Yeah, I know. But you know what it is because you're listening, bro. And there's huh?
My TV is very much. She wouldn't care. It's just what I mean. I don't want to.
Oh, okay. Just know that there's a parable about the sower that sowed the seed, and then the devil took away. Like there's a man listening, and the devil come to take away what's sold in your mind. But this for us, we're talking about what the resurrection of our nation. That's what our Messiah is coming to be. But the vast majority of our people can have to die, man. The majority of our people. Why laugh? Because he doesn't evil.
That's when you got the one more precept, right? So Ephesians 5 verse 26, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. Because you talk about baptism.
Yeah.
Your baptism is immersing yourself in this truth and renewing your mind. So this is the real water. Yeah? That's what I got.
So lucky. So Jeremiah 2:22. For though thou wash thee with nitre and take thee much soap, yet thine iniquity is marked before me, saith the Lord God. So even though you wash yourself with certain solvents and taking much soap, you're still dirty before the Lord. Because you're still in ignorance, man. You're still shaving your beard. You're still committing adultery. You're still in the world, man. You're still trying to make something of yourself. The Lord is commanding brothers to depart from the world, man. And to do the things that please him, which is what we're doing right now. We're teaching and prophesying to brothers like yourself, man. You know? This is the real baptism, and the transforming of your mind. Like coming out of like the churches, that's what that is. That's the worshipping of the white Jesus. Because all these Christianities, they come from the Roman Catholic Church. You know, and you know anything about the Renaissance?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's when the white man came back into power and started painting God as white, everything like that.
1600s.
Yeah, like the 14th century. 14th century. That's when this man started to come back into power because we was ruling. But anyway, that's that goes. Huh? Yeah. You know about that. You know what I mean? So let's go back to what we was reading before, the slavery. But you gotta go in. Okay. Alright, yeah. Every Thursday we're here, innit?
I'll just go to some of the pieces of Scott when we saw them.
Don't worry, let's go back to our original talking point. It's Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3.
Of faith being the substance of things.
Yeah. You know, being chastised for a little moment. Everything like that. that was amazing how the brother was reading them the two demons thing.
Oh, good, man. Look, they had spirits on them to draw him away.
Yeah, I saw that evil, they had a hatred for what we were doing when they walked past. They didn't even know what we were doing.
Well, the spirits in them, the carnal mind in them doesn't, but the spirits in them know, because they were sent up there to try and draw that man away.
Yeah.
So they knew exactly what we were about in there. The demon knew what we were about.
Yeah, and the way they did it as well, proper crafty.
And just respect reality.
Yeah.
It's like, look, see, man, look, if a woman sees a man having a conversation, she's got no business interrupting. Point blank, but these women are fucking out of order, and they disrespect us by trying to, come into a conversation and draw the man away.
Yeah. And the fact that they hate us shows that they hate themselves. We're really out here for them.
Yeah, they hate their own reflection.
Yeah. They don't even read, they don't see the ignorance that they're in. But anyway, let's read on. It says, again, Wisdom of Solomon 3 verse 5, and having been a little chastised, they shall be greatly rewarded. For the Most High proved them and found them worthy for himself. So, how does the Lord prove you to be worthy? He's got to put you through things, man.
As gold is tried in the fire, accepted of men shall be tried in the furnace of adversity.
Always get you have to get that.
No, not at all.
It's Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, verse. Let me start from verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. So it says, prepare your soul for temptation, man. And what does the word temptation mean? A testing or a trial of your character. A test or a trial of your character. Alright? So the Lord's going to make you go through things. Your family, your friends, the police rolling up on you, getting arrested, being persecuted, being laughed at, right? Even demons within yourself, doubting demons. Like when Yahawashi was fasting for 40 days, he was going through all manner of demons, but he endured through it. So it's just like us now, we're going through a lot of things, man. Sicknesses, because you might have a sickness and you might use that sickness as an excuse to not come out here and do the work. But what does it say in the scriptures? The Lord called the maimed, the halt, and the blind to come in that his house may be filled. So just because you got a sickness, that's not an excuse for not contributing to the ministry, man. Right? Even your poverty, that's not an excuse. You being poor, being broke, that's not an excuse. Because what did you have? You had, I think it was that a widow. She gave in all that she had, man. She gave in all she had into the treasury. So, where was that before? So it says, verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. You hear that? So that's the great reward, being increased at thy last end. Because what it says, whatever you forsake on this side, you're going to gain it 100-fold in the world to come. So that's you being increased at your last end. If you haven't read about Job, Job lost it all. He lost it all. His children, his house, right? His merchandise. Even his woman turned against him. But in the end, he was greatly increased than his former self, man.
And Another good example is Lazarus, the poor man, the beggar who wanted the crumbs from the rich man's table.
Right.
His estate was very poor, but his latter end was increased because he was taken up and he inherited the kingdom.
Right. That's right, man. So it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. Right? So what are we in right now? We're in a low estate. Right? And it says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Every time I read that verse, it reminds me of the 300 Spartans, man. When you're fighting. Is that?
But the Persians have great arrows and armies. They'll blow out the sun. Or they'll fight in the shade.
Like it sounds like Iron Man.
Yeah.
We'll fight in the shade. We'll fight in the shade. They started laughing and the arrows came down. You know what I mean? But that's beautiful because when the apostles got chastised for teaching in the name of Yahawashi, what did they do? They rejoiced, man. That they were counted worthy to suffer for Yahawashi's name. That's in Acts, man.
Right, so this is Acts chapter 5. Starting at verse 40. And to him they agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Yahawashi and let them go. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name. Right, Acts 5 and 40 again. And to him they agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Yahawashi.
Right. So the wicked Sadducees and the wicked Pharisees commanded the apostles that they shouldn't teach in the name of Yahawashi after they had beaten them. Come on.
And they let them go. And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing.
Departed what?
And they departed from the presence of the council, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer shame for his name.
See? Yeah, it's a glorious thing to suffer shame for the name of Yahawashi. Man. I believe that's another precept. Hold on. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus 4 verse 21. For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and grace. Right. The scripture says there's a shame that brings glory and grace, man. And that's suffering shame for the name of Yahawashi and Yahawashi. Right? In fact, I'm going to go into
He's talking more about Hollywood and he's not. You know why I know he's good? I can see yeah, no, we do that. I want to look at like I'm saying, USA's got the destruction, America, forget it. Like, when I look on that, I mean, you look at the junction, help me into junction, help me into the function, this is a function of reality. I think you don't need to what function reality. What do you think? Yeah, you know what? Uncle, I love the way you roll, you know. Obviously, it's a thing. So, man, this is excuse me. Wait, I'm getting a message. Right, hold on. Yeah, I was going into that. Lucky. Right. So it says, Luke chapter 9, verse 22. And he starts from verse 21. And he straightly charged them and commanded them to tell no man that thing, saying, the Son of Man must suffer many things, and be rejected of the elders and chief priests and scribes, and be slain, and be raised the third day. And he said to them all, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself, and take up his cross daily, and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. Right? So, you know, there's a whole lot of shame you have to experience for the name of Yahawashi. As I said, you have to deny yourself. And that's humble. You gotta humble yourself. And the word humble comes from the word humos, meaning to the ground. That's what the word humble means. You gotta humble yourself. You can't exalt yourself. You gotta think lowly of yourself. Right? You gotta lowly esteem yourself. That's where the word meek comes from. A man that doubts his own capabilities. Right? So you trust in yourself. You don't put no confidence in the flesh, and you put confidence in Yahawashi. You have to deny yourself. The kingdom people, they don't trust in the Lord. They don't trust the Lord. They don't trust that his words will be fulfilled. They don't trust, they doubt his power. And they trust in earthly things. They trust in tangible things that make sense. Right? And that's why the vast majority of people have to go. You gotta go. So, and it says, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. What's part of your cross? Any sicknesses you have? You know, any personal feuds you might have with your family? Right? You know, any situated personal issues you have in your life going on, that's the cross you have to take up and carry that cross daily. Right? Certain brothers have certain personal illnesses and sicknesses. That's his cross. Or that's, as a sister, believing sister in the truth, that might be your cross you gotta carry. Right? Sickle cell, psychological disorders, skin diseases, autoimmune diseases like myself, birth defects, insecurities about your height, about the way you look. You don't like the way you look. That's your cross you gotta carry, man. Right? Homelessness. Your cross might be the fact that you in the truth and you down homeless, man.
right? Or you might be broke, right? Whatever situation you got going on, that's you gotta take up your cross daily. And the cross is what, like a burden.
Yep.
That's on you put on your back. And what are you carrying? Yahawashi had to carry that cross to Mount Skull, man.
To Golgotha.
Yeah, the Mount Skull. So you gotta carry whatever burden you have to the bitter end, and still follow after Yahawashi. Come on.
This is Malachi, because I was doing a lesson on this very topic a few days ago. That word burden. See, the word of the Lord is a burden unto us prophets. Right? Malachi 1:1, the burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. So, knowing this truth, it can be burdensome, but we have to use it, we have to utilize it. You know, we can't just sit and hide our talent in the napkin like the wicked servant. We have to carry this burden and keep working the ministry. And sometimes this work can be so heavy that it feels like a weight.
Right.
Also,
Take your time, break it down.
I was holding something else as well, because you were talking about faith and how we have to suffer shame for the name of the Lord. A lot of people don't want to suffer that shame. This is Romans 8, starting at verse 4. That the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Spirit, the things of the Spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So then, they that are in the flesh cannot please God. So that's the point, like when you become humble, you become more spiritual. You know, and you put off that carnal mind, because you can't serve the Most High and the world. It's going to be one or the other. No man can serve two masters. So Lord willing, you can put off the things of the world, humble down and suffer the shame which is needed to demonstrate your faith in the names of the Lord, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Yahawashi. That's all I got.
Yeah. Right. That's right. So read on from Luke chapter 9 verse 24. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it. But whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. Now that don't mean literally like you gotta go out there and kill yourself. That means you have to make your body a living sacrifice to Yahawashi Yahawashi. You pretty much have to give up any worldly pursuits that you have in this life, man. The only reason, and understanding the only reason why we're here is to give service to Yahawashi Yahawashi. To be a part of his, how can I say, his spiritual military. To be out here prophesying onto the wind. Prophesying against this great kingdom, the so-called white man system, the European Union, prophesying against America, prophesying against the mass majority of our people that remain in unbelief, right? And condemning all nations to slavery and punishment, man, according to a Bible prophecy. All right? So it's lucky. So it says, but whosoever will lose his life for my sake, the same shall save it. For what is a man advantage if he gain the whole world and lose himself or be cast away? Yeah, so you know, you gain the whole world. You can't serve two masters. It's either you about this world or you about Yahawashi Yahawashi, man. What advantage of man you gain the whole world right, and get destroyed, right, and get melted by the missiles, right? In fact, let me get that now. Psalms. So this is Psalms chapter 17, verse 13. Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked. Right? So we want the Most High to raise himself up by his right hand, Yahawashi, and cast down the so-called white man, which is our enemy, which is the wicked. Right? Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. So the so-called white man is the sword of the Heavenly Father. From men which are thy hand, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life. That's the main point. Who have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes. Right, so the so-called white man, his portion is in this time, in this life, man. But our time is in the life to come, in the world to come, right? So, you know, if you're too afraid to lose your life for Yahawashi, then you're not worthy, man. Just go back into the world and wait for the missiles to destroy you. You understand? The Lord is looking for men, faithful men, man, that will commit themselves unto him, even to the last end. You know you're an Israelite, bro? Alright, man. One look at that man and say, alright, bro. What did you say? He's like, yeah, I'm good, bro. I'm alright. I don't know how to look at it. So you think? Yeah. They think themselves to be a good case, bro. You say he's alright, but you're not alright. So, where we at? Right. Let me go back. This back in Luke chapter 9, verse 25. Again, for what is a man advantage if he gain the whole world and lose himself, or be a castaway? For whosoever, this is the point, whosoever shall be ashamed of me and of my words, of him shall the Son of Man be ashamed, when he shall come in his own glory, and in his Father's, and of the holy angels. But I tell you of a truth, there be some standing here which shall not taste of death till they see the kingdom of the Most High. Now that's the main point. That's what it said about you be ashamed of the Lord. Yahawashi is going to be ashamed of you. You understand? And what does it mean to be ashamed? I mean, you're too ashamed to take a stand out in the highways and the hedges to confess Yahawashi before the Gentiles, man, before our people. In the sight of the world, it looks foolish, but what we're doing is really a very wise thing. Because we understand the times. We understand what's about to come on the earth. If these people had any idea what the intentions of the Most High were, they'd all be lined up wanting to hear this word. Man. Yeah, we have a crowd. We can make money from joking. I'm joking. I was thinking that it's like a concert, you know, throughout the day. Like an outdoor festival type. Yeah. But I was joking. But you know, there'll be crowds here, man. Like there'll be a road block. You know, there'll be traffic. People will be parking their cars in the middle of the street, yeah, and coming up here, man. Yeah. He'll be on the news, bro. You'll be crazy. Man. You'll be getting all kind of women. But see, that's why the Lord has to blind them. So this thing could be a test. See that? Yeah. This thing could be a test.